Right guys, before we get into the video, I've got a quick special announcement that we finally got some merch. Shout out to my best friends who have got involved in this project with me, and finally we can offer you some clobber. They're on the screen now, the website's on the screen now, go and check it out. This is only going to be a quick 20-second thing because I need to let you know about a little bit of details. If you do buy a shirt, specifically the Trent Alexander-Arnold shirts that we've made, then you are entered into a competition. It runs up until Christmas and you can have a chance to win a PS5. Buying a shirt enters you into a raffle. Once you're entered into the raffle, it gives you the chance. But the reason why we're doing this is because it's another way you guys can support the channel. Appreciation for supporting the channel, and finally get a little bit of merch out there for you as well. So do go and check out the website. It's in the link in the description. And yeah guys, go and cop yourself a little bit of clobber before Crimbo. Anyway, enjoy the video. Right, hello there everyone, welcome back to James Redmond TV and welcome to another Redmond Roundup, the show where I talk about loads of different footballing stuff. There's no real plan or execution for this Redmond Roundup whatsoever, but I've been getting a load of haters in my comments down below basically talking to me about how I don't know anything about football. I've got a bow head, I've got a wonky jaw, and I am, in some people's eyes, a fake scouser, which is really interesting. I do have a decent London accent. That being said, that's not the point of the premise of the video. The point of the premise of the video is I don't know ball, apparently, for the reasoning that I said Messi is currently and will always be considered better than Kylian Mbappe, and I'm so surprised that that statement just weren't accepted out of all the stuff that I've said. You're telling me that's the one thing that has made you Zaggy? Do you know the thing that I'm most well known for? Insert the clip.
It was Boss, and the one that I'm mentioning now, Sadio Mane. I said it last time I was on it, he's the best football player in the world. I don't know why he's laughing for. What, Chris, why are you laughing for? Why are you laughing for? I'm being serious.
Now, I think I spoke nothing but facts on that video for the premise that Mane went absolutely elite for years after, and even Lionel Messi himself said Mane should win the Ballon d'Or. So listen, if you're not going to listen to me, then listen to the man who's just won the World Cup. Listen to the man who was winning Ballon d'Ors at 23 opposed to the Mbappe that you're talking about, who has yet to win a Ballon d'Or, yet to win a Champions League. Yes, won a World Cup, granted, but let's be honest, when you talk about luxurious finals, and I'm not trying to go back to the finals argument because, again, we've beat Spurs in a final, so, and I will admit, us beating Spurs in a final weren't fantastic. The same way France beating Croatia isn't amazing. But Argentina beating France in the way they beat France. So yes, a final's a final, a win's a win, and you've got to give it to both of them. Mbappe winning a World Cup, I don't want to take anything away from that. But the point I always make is the way humans have to debate is I have got to diminish your argument. And that is therefore your argument is Mbappe. I have got to diminish Mbappe when you say he's better than Lionel Messi, because he's not as good as Lionel Messi at all of these things, nor does he have to be considered a world-class good or really good player, however you want to label him as. And he is fantastic, and what he's done is amazing. I'd love him at Liverpool if he sorted that. Again, the attitude problems, I think, is overemphasised for Mbappe. I think he's just got an elite mentality, and he wants to win. I'll give him that. But I do think people overrate him to suggest that he's better than someone like Lionel Messi, who has single-handedly carried multiple teams. You saw the fall off for Barcelona when he leaves. You saw the fall off for Argentina when he doesn't play. He is absolutely huge as an influence, as a presence, as a motivator, and the best thing is he's efficient, and that's everything Mbappe wants to be, is a goal scorer and efficient, and Messi doesn't have to do the running of other players in the world. Why? Because he's efficient, he knows what to do when he's on the ball, and I'll make the arguments again, dribbling, who's better, long shots, who's better, set pieces, who's better, passing, who's better. It's not even close, by the way. The only thing you could come to me with is finishing because of goals and stuff like that. Messi has a better goal-to-game ratio than Ronaldo. And bear in mind, going into the final, it was the whole Messi versus Ronaldo. If Messi wins, he's better than Ronaldo. Or whoever wins the World Cup at the start of the World Cup, they will be there for the GOAT. And for some reason, it translated into a Messi versus Mbappe thing by the end of it. Granted, Mbappe had an amazing World Cup, and people are going to take this video and they're going to be like, oh, you think Mbappe's crap. If that's how you want to interpret my points, go ahead. More than sound. That being said, I have to say this because Messi's just better. And it's just the amount of comments I was getting, I was so surprised. So let me know, really, instead of saying, James, you're wrong, let me know why I'm wrong. And don't just say a World Cup because Messi's now won a World Cup. Opposite ends of the careers for sure. But also, granted, Messi's been in considerably worse teams, and France were the better overall team going into that game. I actually don't think he had a great game overall. I don't think Messi had a phenomenal game overall, but he's there in the absolute biggest moments, and the reason why he's so great is because he creates those moments for himself the majority of the time. And Argentina are no bums, but the team is certainly, if you remove Messi out the team, it's not considered a true contender for the World Cup, in my opinion. That might be a debate in itself, but yeah, I just wanted to respond to the comments, because I'm not always right. I'm just really surprised that's a debate. I want to, if this new generation can convince me, because by the way, I'm in the same generation, so enlighten me, bring me back down to me age, and you know, not this man persona that I've been having going on in football recently, because I just think everyone chats major bollocks. But I'm not, and do you know what's mad as well? I know I'm not right 100% of the time. I 100% get that. Where's my water? Because my lips are dry. But one thing that I do stand by is that it shouldn't be. If you wanted to beat Maradona, fine. If you wanted to beat Pele, okay, more than sounds. Because Pele, I saw a video the other day. I'll see if I can find it. But it was just this fella saying Pele did it first.
Pele did it first. Let's start. Ronaldo, the chop. Pele did it first. Cruyff, turn. Pele did it first. And then, of course, Zinedine Zidane, Pele did it first. Iniesta's dribbles, Pele did it first. Different kinds of skills, Pele did it first.
Pele did it first, and it was like all the skill moves. So if you want to go off the premise that Pele created the skill sheet of football, go for it. If you want to say Maradona because of how good he was, go for it. If you want to now say Messi, I think you have to, based on goals, longevity, trophies, won everything in the game, most Ballon d'Ors. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot there that says Messi's the best player of all time. So therefore, I'm giving you the reasons why I think Messi's the best player of all time. If you want to give me your reasons why you think he's not, go for it in the comments down below, and give me reasons, proper reasons why he's actually better than Mbappe. And once you do that, we can then have a proper amazing conversation about it. But anyway, we're also going to talk about Liverpool in this video, as always, because I'm a Liverpool fan, so we do them things. AC Milan, we played them the other day, which was interesting. By the way, I've been on the Ben Doak train. How good's Ben Doak? He looked brilliant. Bobby Clark as well. Another player I'm a really, really big fan of, and it really does seem we're getting these exciting players coming through the academy, which is brilliant for multiple reasons. And by the way, let me know who you thought was the standout in the game, because I thought a few of the youngsters had an okay go. And what's beautiful about it is, not only are these players have potential to get into the first team, but also it's more assets. So even if they're not good enough, like Nico Williams or Harry Wilson, to get into the first 11, then that means we've got a nice valuable asset for 15, 20 million, which can go towards a Bellingham, if we get Bellingham. Not right now, but I'm saying if they have a couple of years under the belt, develop. Ben Doak's only 16. Bobby Clark, he's only young as well. I believe he's 17 or 18. He has a cameo in the Bournemouth game earlier on in the season. Beautiful pass through to Nunes as well, by the way. Nunes? Getting the goal lassos. Listen, Nunes is the goal to pre-season. Remember when he scored 4 against Leipzig? And he's scoring against AC Milan off the bench. Don't mind if I diddly do. And hopefully he can translate that form going into the second half of the season, because we need what Nunes shown in games, relentless, chance after chance after chance, and try and put it away, because we've saw Nunes needs a couple of chances for goals. And if you want to dispute this, go for it, but I do think we know his finishing is inconsistent, but he gets the chances. He causes defences headaches, and he really does, but he does that by simply just running in behind constantly, and he is lightning, and you've got to utilise that pace while he's got it. And I think if we do utilise it the right way, we control the ball better in midfield, we get a new midfielder, which we'll talk about in a minute, then I think we're going to have a really decent push for top 4. I think anything more than that is going to need to be seen after the first 5 or 10 games, and I'm talking 5 or 10 wins, for us to start believing the train of possibly competing for the league, because right now that's not even in the realm of my thoughts. But we do need, key point that I made there, for Nunes to do well and for Liverpool to do well, we need a midfielder. So that's a big if, and as we know, I don't do them. By the way, we've got if buts maybe shirts selling now on my website. If you go in the link in the description, then you can go and cop yourself a shirt. Also, if you buy yourself one of the trench shirts, this is just a quick plug, don't worry, it'll be done in a second, then you will be entered into a giveaway for a PS5, which is decent. Shout out to me mates who was able to make this happen, and yeah, shameless plug in the middle of the video for the new website for you to get some merch for Christmas. Anyway, back to the point. The midfielders, I forgot the point for a second there. The midfielders, so we've been linked with 4 names specifically. Now, shout out to Mr. Matteo, who decided to link us to Benacer from AC Milan. I don't know Matteo, I don't know what he is as or Mr. Matteo, I don't know what he is as a journalist, I don't know how reliable he is, I don't know if his source is Fabrizio Romano or barbecue sauce itself from Heinz. Heinz barbecue sauce, is that a thing? Or is it just tomato? I'm not really too sure about that. Let me know in the comments down below. Point and premise is that I don't think we're going to get Benacer. I don't think he'd want to come to Liverpool. And these links to him, I think, is just to try and find another midfielder who would come. Italians don't really tend to come to Liverpool too much as well, especially from an Italian club. So I just really don't see that happening. I mean, to be fair, that could be bullshit because we signed Aquilani, Balotelli. See how that went. Try and learn off your previous mistakes. I don't know if I'd want Benacer as well. And then the other 3 that we're linked with is the Argentinian Fernandes, who plays for Benfica, originally played for River Plate. Then you've got man like Jude, who everyone wants Jude. And then you've got Amrabat. So Amrabat, now the interesting thing about these 3 players is that I do like the sounds of all 3 of them, and I think the possibility, I'll break it down. So Amrabat, I think we could get him in January, but we're probably not going to get him in January because for whatever reason, it'll probably be someone else, because Amrabat seems to be the person who we've just been linked to because of the World Cup hype. Apparently, we've met with his team, his management, his representatives. But I don't know if that translates to we're definitely going to sign Amrabat. But a lot of people are opposed to signing him. And I've just said to them, but he's a player that we need. It's not just the Jude Bellinghams that we need. It's not just the Fernandezes that we need. You know, we are about to lose Oxlade-Chamberlain, Naby Keita, Milner, Henderson, who's not really going to be involved or shouldn't be involved in a week-to-week team or starting 11. Shouldn't be in a starting 11 week-to-week. And that's why I think we need multiple midfielders, and that's why we need to not just rely on getting Bellingham. We need to get the players who aren't just guaranteed to get in the first team, but have the element of something to prove. And think about it, he's Moroccan. He's got that underdog about him, and coming to Liverpool, you know, Liverpool fans, we like to play the underdog, and it's because we tend to be. The odds are stacked against us more often than what they're not, and that's in many different senses. And I think with Morocco having the World Cup that they've just had, and the performances that Amrabat showed, I think that emotion, I think that bringing out the best of someone when you feel loved, like the way he did with Morocco, he probably doesn't feel that way at Fiorentina, because I had fans saying to me, oh, but Fiorentina fans don't like him, he barely plays for Fiorentina. Fine, but still, that's Fiorentina. Liverpool is different. If he comes to Liverpool, we really love him. Oh yes, Amrabat comes in, plays better than Fabinho, which isn't really hard at the moment. Then he can make himself a fan favourite, and again, it can just be a valuable asset for the future. So I would love Amrabat. Do I think it will happen? If it does, it has to be January. If it doesn't happen in January, I don't think it happens at all, and we go for somebody else. Or we wait for Tyler Morton to get back, which I like Tyler Morton, and he's done great at Blackburn. I just don't know if that's the move right now. I think if that's Chelsea, they loan him out a few more times, and if City loan him out a few more times, don't know, but we need somebody who's going to be that rock in the midfield, read the play, and that's why I'd like Amrabat. But yes, there's better out there, granted, but you'd have to spend more money as well. Anyway, the other 2, Fernandes and Jude, I think if Liverpool got both of these players, that would be amazing. And you need both of these players because we need a new midfield. You've also got, by the way, I mentioned a few midfielders before. There's kind of a problem with our whole midfield. Fabinho's out of form. Thiago doesn't really play as much as we want him to. Henderson, he's just getting older. Milner, I love James Neymar, but no. And then, you know, Naby Keita, Oxlade-Chamberlain, all these different players. Besides Harvey Elliott, who everyone thought was a winger at the start of the season, who else have we got? Maybe I'm missing a name. Arthur's going to be fucking off as well. He's going to be dusting back to Italy. We need a lot of midfielders. So if Liverpool are going to be showing real, shout out to 50 Cent, animal ambition, where you're going to be showing that significant interest in the big boy signings, get them before they turn world class. I don't know if that's Fernandes and Bellingham definitively. You can go and get somebody else. But those 2 players would be nice. And any one of those, or any one of those players, and then an addition on top of that, would be great. But you also need to accommodate the thing that we always go back to, squad depth, because only more games are getting included into football. You saw the World Cup, the World Club Cups thing, like, now that's a full tournament. Listen, it was nice winning the Club World Cup, but who gives a fuck? Who gives a... Just let us play a couple of teams in South America and then we'll dusty. You know what I mean? It pisses me off that now, because think about how that's going to impact, like, the League Cup games, the FA Cup games. That's going to be a big, serious impact. Therefore, I go back to the original point and premise. We need squad depth. So those who are saying, oh, we need Jude and Fernandes, not Amrabat. Amrabat we need as well. We need all of them and we need way more. Like, here's the thing. I like the Tyler Morton option that I mentioned before. If you get Amrabat, if you get Fernandes, and if you get Bellingham, then I'm okay with it. Because then if you sell everyone else, then you've got Henderson, you've got Fabinho, who's rumoured to be leaving as well. But the main players is Harvey Elliott, Henderson, Bellingham, Fernandes, Amrabat. Like, you've got them 5 there in itself. Curtis Jones, because he's just signed a new contract, and then Morton. Them 7 options in midfield are sounds as a pound. Because we can't ask for Bellingham in all 7 options, but we can ask for Curtis as number 6, for Morton as number 7, and then that's really decent. I don't know. And then they can all compete with each other. You've got Amrabat, you've got Morton, who's young, potential, promising. Jurgen Klopp's all about the youngsters. Let him compete with Amrabat, and then Fabinho as well. And then maybe Fabinho could go back to his best, and then in a year's time we're thinking, we never really needed Amrabat, and then we made a little bit of a loss. But either way, there's many ways you can look at it, but we need to make sure that we get that top 4. That's the most important thing out of all this. To rate all the signings chances, Amrabat, if it does happen, it has to happen in January. If it doesn't happen outside of that, I give it a 5 out of 10. Benacer from AC Milan, not happening, 1 out of 10. Bellingham, I'm going to give that an 8 out of 10 in the summer. I think that will happen. And then, who is the other player? Fernandes, 5. I really don't see us getting Bellingham and Fernandes, and off the premise that I think that we're going to sign Bellingham, I don't think we're going to add Fernandes to that list as well. Yeah, guys, that's going to be the end of this video. That was such a random Redmond roundup. But you know what, though? I enjoyed it, and hopefully you did too. If you didn't and you disagreed with any of the points, I was a bit relentless at the start of the video on the Mbappe fans, but I'm just surprised people... I'm blind in one eye. I've always had an issue. I'm blind in one eye. Not fully, but... Like, yeah, if I do this, like, you're onto the way you can see me, I like massive there. Now look at this one. Look how huge that one is. I'm looking into your soul. Now look at this one. Not as bad. This one, huge. Now, the reason for that is because the vision in this eye is very weak, and that's why, like, if I just look at the camera, get on this, I can just do, like, a little mad bug eye thing. I shouldn't really show that because people can screenshot it, but, yeah, the point of why I'm blind is because I can understand that I can be up to misinterpretation on who's a good footballer and who's not. But my perfectly good right eye can suggest that Messi is definitely better than Mbappe, and I'm just surprised people don't see it that way as well. And then I thought I'd talk about the midfielders and loads of other things. But if you do like these style of Redmond rounds-ups, let me know. Ask me questions, because I want to start getting questions involved in the Redmond rounds-ups. You can see I started the show with talking about your responses to my Messi and Mbappe claim, so we'll see about that. And yeah, mate, thank you for watching. Dislike it if you didn't like the video, and let me know what you didn't like about it. And yeah, love every single one of yous. Roll the advert. Right, guys, before we get into the video, I've got a quick special announcement that we finally got some merch. Shout out to my best friends who have got involved in this project with me, and finally, we can offer you some clobber. They're on the screen now. The website's on the screen now. Go and check it out. This is only going to be a quick 20-second thing because I need to let you know about a little bit of details. If you do buy a shirt, specifically the Trent Alexander-Arnold shirts that we've made, then you are entered into a competition. It runs up until Christmas, and you can have a chance to win a PS5. Buying a shirt enters you into a raffle. Once you're entered into the raffle, it gives you the chance. But the reason why we're doing this is because it's another way you guys can support the channel. Appreciation for supporting the channel, and finally get a little bit of merch out there for you as well. So do go and check out the website. It's in the link in the description. And yeah, guys, go and cop yourself a little bit of clobber before Crimbo. Anyway, enjoy the video.